request Honourable Minister to say a few words.
Thank you very much. I'd like to begin by saying Sat Sri Akal, and also recognize that we are in indigenous territory, and we thank our indigenous brothers and sisters for continuously welcoming us and allowing us to live and prosper in their territory. Second, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that yesterday was a very special day. Yes, we celebrate Canada Day every year, but yesterday was a particularly special Canada Day, being Canada's 150th birthday. And as we reflect on that day, we understand the importance that Canada as a country has grown into from its history, from the mistakes that we've made and the lessons we've learned from that, but also the contributions that different waves of immigrants have made to this great country. And wave upon wave of immigrants have settled in our country, have contributed immensely to our economy, to our social and cultural fabric. And you know, at this point in Canada's history, it's important to recognize that Canada would not be the same. The Canada that we see today would not be what it is had it not been for the influences of those various communities that came to this country and continue to come and contribute immensely and give back to this society. And it would be remiss for me not to mention the fact that one of those communities is the Punjabi Canadian community that has been almost as old as Canada. And that community has not only gone through the settlement and integration process that every other community goes through, but has turned around and helped other communities to settle and integrate into Canada. The Punjabi Canadian community is now in every facet and every part of the Canadian mainstream, and is as Canadian as every other community. And I thank you for your contributions to this great country and to the contributions that you continue to make into our social, political, cultural, and economic life in Canada. And that leads me to Mr. Rajinder Saini and Parvasi Media. A lot of times when I go across the country traveling on immigration business, traveling to make sure that I listen to the views and the contributions made by Canadian business, by settlement organizations, by municipalities, by provinces, and by ordinary Canadians on what our immigration policy should look like, what our settlement numbers should be for next year, what is the right mix of immigrants that we should have year in, year out. I always make it a point that whether I'm making an announcement or doing a consultation in a city like Calgary or in a community like Guelph, Ontario, that I put some time aside to meet with the so-called ethnic media, because in my mind they're as media as the other media. And I make sure that I listen to them, take their questions, give them as much time as possible, because that media, ethnic media, informs the various multicultural communities of this country and play a key role in not only providing information, but doing investigative journalism, like Rajinder was able to show me upstairs, uncovering practices that are problematic to citizens. And in doing so, they perform a really great civic duty that sometimes we take for granted. And they do so in environments that are really difficult to operate, with very small budgets and very small staff. So it's very encouraging for me as the Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship to see a successful ethnic media outlet like Parvasi Media that has grown over the years, has created jobs in the community, has provided an outlet for great investigative reporting, and is now, on the second day after Canada's 150th birthday, is launching Canadian Parvasi, which has basically gone full circle. Will now launch this great website and the newsletter and the app, and using and harnessing technology to make sure that we're better informed. So I thank you, Rajinder, for your leadership, and I thank Parvasi Media for the work that they continue to do in our communities. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.